This blessed book, Holy Quran, the greatest and the most perfect book that has ever been written by man and revealed by God. This book, Holy Quran, says about itself that in this book there are similitudes of every kind. Allah, when He revealed the Holy Quran to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, after He revealed the Holy Quran, of course, as Muhammad began to teach, there was many naysayers and doubters as to the truth of the Quran being what it was. So Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, issued 4 challenges to those that disbelieved in this book. He told them, he said, challenge number 1. He said, if you doubt that this is from Allah, the Lord of the worlds, then produce a book like it. No takers. Then he lightened it up a little bit and said, okay, second off, if you can't produce a book like it, I tell you what, produce 10 chapters like it. No takers. Then Muhammad, peace be upon him, lightened the burden and said, okay, if this is not from Allah, the Lord of the worlds, don't worry about a book or 10 chapters, just produce 1 chapter like it. No takers. And the final challenge that he gave for this book, Holy Quran, he said, if you can produce 1 ayat, 1 verse like it, then I'll say that this book is not the perfect book from the Lord of the worlds. None were able to produce a book, 10 chapters, 1 chapter, no, not even 1 verse. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said this book is so perfect. He said that if you want to talk to Allah, read the Holy Quran. Then he said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, whatever you get into trouble, nurse from the Holy Quran. To nurse, isn't this something that a baby calls for the mother's milk about 5 times a day? How many prayers are we? Come on now. And any mother knows that whenever that baby is nursing, not drinking Enfamil, not Similac, but drinking the perfect formula that was organized by Allah Himself inside of the molecular structure of the milk inside the breast of the mother. The breast milk is so perfect that it's the only food that a baby needs. They don't have to eat breast milk and oatmeal. They don't even need breast milk and alkaline water. The milk itself is already alkaline. The milk itself has already the perfect balance of carbohydrates and proteins, amino acids, and all the nutrients needed to make that child into the best that it can be. But any mother knows, and of course fathers that watch, you notice that whenever that baby is nursing from the mother, every time that the mother nurses the child and the mother's bond grows closer to one another. Is this the truth, mothers? Well, so it is if you nurse from the Holy Quran. The nurse's or the mother's milk is the chemical composition of the thoughts of mother put into liquid form to nurse that child into great health. This book, Holy Quran, is the chemical composition of the mind of Allah. Put in, and if we nurse from it every time we pull. We back. Just like the baby gets closer to the mother, the believer gets closer to the God that revealed this book, Holy Quran. What's beautiful, you say, what does all this have to do with education? I'm getting there. If in this book, Holy Quran, there are similitudes of every kind, that means that there's no situation, no circumstance, no event, no problem that could ever exist in the known world that you can't find a solution to inside this Holy Quran. In this book, Holy Quran, Allah reveals how our children got messed up. Y'all hear me? In this book, Holy Quran, there are 7 different places where Allah and Satan are having a conversation with one another. Inside of the conversation, there's 4 different things that are mentioned that Satan wants to do to the believing community. In fact, the whole playbook of the devil is what? Is in this book. Satan's whole playbook is in there. Now those of you that watch football, y'all know what a playbook is, right? Imagine if you were playing an opposition and you got their whole playbook in advance of playing the game. It would be virtually impossible for you to lose, because every time they made a formation, you would know what call they were getting ready to make. Well, Allah is so merciful that not in a Super Bowl game, but in the game of life, he reveals Satan's whole playbook. So we know everything that Satan plans on doing. In this book, Quran, as Allah is having this conversation with Satan, Satan asked Allah, he said to Allah, he said, respite me until the day when they are raised. Now that's interesting, Brother Imam, because Satan doesn't say, respite me till 2012, or respite me to September of 2050. It's no date. It's a condition that has to take place. Respite me until the what? The day when they are raised. So 2 things need to be found out. Number 1, who is this they that are going to be raised? And then number 2, what is the system that you keep this they down, and what's the system that you raise this group of people called they up? Allah tells Satan, surely thou shalt be of the respited one. Respite means delay my doom, delay my judgment. And because of Satan's arrogance, he reveals his whole playbook. He says, well, I shall lie in wait for them. In thy what? On the what? In the straight path. I shall lie in wait. Meaning, number 1, I'm going to be posted, located in the straight path. That's religion, that's Islam, that's nature. But the word lie in another verb means to speak something that's other or not the truth. So now Satan is telling you that his method, his weapon that he uses is a system of lies. What are you going to do, Satan? He says, I'm going to cause them to become ungrateful. Are y'all hearing that? That tells us that any time that ingratitude begins to enter the heart, that's a sign that Satan has got a grip on us. Then he says, I shall cause them to remain disappointed. So that means that every now and then stuff going to happen. We're going to get bothered. We're going to get sad. But the key is not to remain disappointed. Then the 3rd thing Satan says he's going to do. He says, I shall excite in them vain desires. In other words, I'm going to have them so selfish that they'll be willing to drive an S550 and drop their babies off at the Philadelphia public school system, instead of driving a Honda Accord and bringing their baby to an independent Islamic education. The last thing that Satan says he's going to do, he says, I'm going to make all of them deviate. Look at Allah. Allah says, paraphrasing, and you shall get all of them except for my purified ones. You say, well, see, what does this have to do with education? In Surah 17, verse 62, the target audience by which the enemy is going to work with is exposed to us. The target audience, believe it or not, is not the imams or the sheikhs. The target audience of Satan is not the senior citizens, the elders, or even the adults. According to Surah 17:62, it says, and I shall cause your progeny to perish, except for a few. So this means that the 4 things that this enemy plans on doing: ungrateful, remaining disappointment, inciting in us vain desires, making us all deviate. His target audience is not the imams, the sheikhs, the bullahs. His target audience is not the elders or the adults, but his target audience is our children. Satan is not waiting, brothers and sisters, to attack our babies. That's the reason why when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad described the public school system, he called it the white man's killing field. You say, but I know plenty of children that made it all the way through school and they were able to flip the tassel over and say that they have a diploma and they graduated. Yeah, but it's not a killing field of the body of your sons and daughters. Whenever our babies are put inside of a white supremacist system called public education, it's a killing field because their hopes, dreams, and aspirations have been assassinated. They have met spirit killers inside the school. And if you look back and rewind in your own mind, somewhere along the road, you met somebody as you were coming up prepared to be what you wanted to be. Most of us have not become, as adults, what we said we wanted to be when we were children. Is this the truth? If I could interview the 6-year-old you and say, what do you want to be? You might have said doctor, you might have said architect, you might have said lawyer, you might have said chemist, you might have said engineer. But then when I interview the present day you and ask you what you are, you become none of that. Question is, what happened between the time that you wanted to be this doctor at the age of 4 and 5 to now the point you are 40 or 50 and never achieved the objective? You met a spirit killer. And most of the time, the spirit killer was a no-good teacher inside of one of these schools that poisoned your mind and made you think that you couldn't do what you could do. That's why in our school, Dr. Nikki, and I hope y'all will incorporate this. That's why in our school, and I hope they will incorporate this in the Clara Muhammad school when it gets going like it needs to go. The first day of school at our Muhammad University of Islam, we have a funeral. You say, what, a funeral? Yeah, we have a funeral for the word Cain. Are y'all hearing me? All the children have to make up a name tag that says Cain on it. And then we all go in the back of the mosque and dig up a hole, and all the children take the word Cain and throw it inside the grave. Then we have one of the students eulogize Mr. or Mrs. Cain. Now, you know, normally a eulogy tell you all the good stuff about it. This is a different kind of eulogy. We want to tell you all the stuff that believing in the word Cain will mess you up in. So when they come and we bury the word Cain on the first day of school, sometime throughout the course of the year, you'll hear them say, I don't care. So what? Or you'll hear them when they get challenged in math and science, I can't do so forth. And we say, well, wait a minute. Where's Cain at? Oh, that's right. Cain is dead. And if they slip up again, we'll take them outside to the grave site and let them know. So look, listen, if Cain is dead and it's buried right there, you are not allowed. You thought I was going to say Cain, didn't you? You're not allowed to use that word no more.